my role with John was not just his sister. It was like my mom's been gone for 16 years. So it was like I had to make sure that he was all right. I couldn't sleep. It was just like one of my own. Like, yeah, he was grown. Yeah, he could take care of himself. Probably better than I could. But I had to make sure he wasn't hungry. He wasn't this or wasn't that. So when I got the call, my mind started, and then I got a text saying, Laura, that did not happen the way it is. And then my mind started kicking in. All right.
Welcome to Creepalachia. We have a very important episode today, especially today for a case we've been covering, which is the case of John Lucas. And I am so grateful to be blessed with family members of John. And thank you for being here. We're going to walk through this case. For those who don't know, John Lucas lost his life in a horrific way in Kanawha County, West Virginia in April of 2026. And I'll tell you up front, this is going to be very triggering, very awful. There's things that people need to know about this case, and we're just going to lay it all out there and as honestly and respectfully as we possibly can. But we'll go left to right. We have three folks in here. Laura Jett.
Yes.
So introduce yourself to everybody and your relationship with John.
I'm Laura Jett. I'm John's sister.
John's sister, Laura Jett. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Elkview, West Virginia.
Lord, yeah. Elkview's had a rough year, y'all.
They have.
It's been so sad.
Yeah.
Such a sad year.
Yes.
All right, and we got Haley Harvey.
Haley Harvey. Yes, I am John Lucas's niece
John Lucas
and
is
Laura's daughter.
awesome. And award for coolest hair in the studio goes
Whatever.
to you with the glitter. Yours is awesome too,
Whatever.
Laura. But definitely. And we have Chris Jett, which I'm assuming by last names you are John's brother.
No, I'm Laura's husband.
You're Laura's husband.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
look at that. I'm terrible. I do
okay.
no backstory.
That's okay.
So
Yeah.
y'all are learning just as I did. Because the reason I thought, I was like, man, you look like John to me. I was just thinking,
my maiden name was Lucas.
okay, got it.
Okay.
It all
There's
makes
the
sense.
tie.
It all makes sense now. So, all right. Tell me about life growing up, Laura, and tell me about John starting out.
I could tell you that John had a rough start. If you're wanting me to go back to the
Way back.
back. My mom had him. He was a preemie. He was 2 months early, almost 2 months early. And back in the 80s, you wasn't allowed to leave the NICU until you reached 5 pounds.
Okay.
So he was in the hospital, I think, like 6 weeks in the NICU. So at this time, I was 5 years old, so I vividly remember him coming home, and he was just an itty bitty, tiny little preemie baby. So he had a rough start to begin with.
Sure, yeah. You talk about magic is the NICU. I have a niece and nephew that were born 3 months premature.
Yeah.
And it is the most incredible thing to see all these nurses and doctors working on
They
these
are
babies.
angels.
Angels. Yes.
They are angels, for sure.
Definitely. That is the word. So rough start. Were y'all in Elkview at the time?
We live in a place called Laurel Fork.
Mhm.
It's off. Do you know where Quick, West Virginia is? Sanderson.
You know, that's one I haven't heard.
Okay. Well, we'll take you on a ride out there someday.
Lord, yeah.
Okay. So it's out in that area. It's like you got Elkview, Pinch, Quick, Laurel Fork, Sanderson, Dutch Ridge, Reamer,
heard of,
Clendenin. It's just a
Clendenin?
big circle.
Oh, Clendenin. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Clendenin's the first sighting of the Mothman.
Yeah,
So everyone
Oh,
knows.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get to it through a back way up that way.
Yeah.
Up Leatherwood.
Yeah.
How cool. And let's see, Clendenin got hit bad in 2016, right?
We got hit bad.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
flood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I filmed a wedding. A woman got married that was from Clendenin, and she told me all about the
Yeah.
the flood. All right, so you got your rural hollers.
Yes,
I guess Elkview
great.
would be the fancy city part of all this.
That was where the fancy people go.
Yeah.
But no, we grew up at Laurel Fork. We had a bunch of kids that was all our same age. I could name the whole lot of us. We had great summers. We had great neighbors that watched out for each other. There was a family that lived above us, Ronnie and Patty Mullins, that would take all of us kids to go work concession stands at Laidley Field during the summer so that we could get money to go camping. And it was just good down home country fun. Like you go four-wheeling and you go, just camp and just sit around and roast marshmallows and do all that stuff. So we had such a pure upbringing where it was no TV. You didn't come in till the one street light come on, and if you was late, you was gonna get it. So we all watched out for each other, and I loved my childhood. I absolutely loved my childhood.
It sounds amazing. It sounds a lot like mine, but we also had no cell phones.
No cell phones.
Yeah. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord on that one.
Goodness gracious.
You come up,
simpler times.
Well, you woke up, you did what you was supposed to do around the house, you jumped on a four-wheeler, and you took off for the rest of the day.
Right.
And you'd bust every water hole, swimming hole that you could. You'd make multiple stops just to cool off.
Sure, yeah.
So we run around in this group of people. Ages separated the groups. Like, I had a friend, Stacy Smith. She was my age, so we ran. And then there was John and Adam, my brothers. They ran with the neighbor boys. It was just a group of us.
Mm-hmm. How many siblings are there?
There is 4 of us. I can't get used to saying that.
Sure.
But there was 4.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, obviously, I'm sure it sounds like you all were just super close growing up. And
yeah, so close that you watched out for each other. That was rule number 1. We were taught to watch out for each other, plain and simple. So my job all through my life, I have been probably the loudest one because I was the only girl out of the 3 brothers. So, I mother henned every one of them. Carl, he was the oldest, so he refused my mother henning. So right. Adam and John, they were strong-armed to listen to me. So it was.
I have a theory, and I didn't have one of these, but everybody needs a good sister in their life because I know my wife, lines out her brothers every now and then. It's like, hey, listen.
Yeah.
And she's kind of the go-to when it comes to wanting to get something solved. So thankful that he had you in his life because I know how important that can be for families. Now, Chris, how'd y'all meet? I love a good love story here. So I got to ask you, how'd you meet Laura?
Well, we're both in the hair business.
Nice.
And me and my brother actually are barbers.
Okay.
And we got a spot up at up in Elk River, up 119 there, a shop. And she started working for us. And we just became really good friends, and it just all developed from there.
How long ago was that?
6 years ago.
Okay. Did you ever get to meet John?
Yes.
I'm sure you did, but
yes.
What was your memory of John as a person?
A free spirit. I think he had a good heart. I know he had a good heart. I got to see for myself the kind of person that he really was. And, Laura had told me some things about him and, with his head injury and all that stuff. And, I began to see the true person that he was and how he really suffered with that stuff.
Sure.
You know, a lot of people, they say things and they don't understand. And I think for me, there was a few instances where, you know, he really didn't realize
what he was doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really saw the innocence in his, and it just, it gave me this compassion for him that, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's something that I believe the state has failed him multiple times. And,
oh yeah. Well, the TBI, so we're country folk.
Yes.
And everyone's doing the best they can in this state. I'll always believe that. But we also don't have much of an education when it comes to newer things like traumatic brain injuries and CTE even. Now we don't
What's
know.
CTE?
So CTE, that's really repetitive brain injury that we're finding out. And a lot of people that get that, like, you're having a higher rate of professional football players kill themselves.
Right.
You know, a lot of wrestlers.
Like over and over head injury.
Yes. So that's typically what CTE is. It's like a deterioration of your brain and it eventually turns you into something else. And we know that it's a thing. And TBIs too, like a traumatic brain injury for people can fester over time and get worse and worse, and especially frontal lobe.
It is like trying to navigate someone that has Alzheimer's.
Yep.
I mean, if anybody's experienced anything where you're taking care of an Alzheimer's patient or loved one where sometimes they know, sometimes they look like they know, and sometimes they're just clueless.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
And that's important in John's case because also you all are the first family where and only family so far I've had to publicly apologize, and I felt compelled to do so. And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because there's many things that happened in this case that caused miscommunication and misunderstanding. And the TBI is important because of John's mentality of what was going on in that time period with a tick bite and different things, which we'll get into.
Yes.
So first though, Haley, tell me about your experience as John as an uncle.
Yes. He was my uncle. I was born in 1994. So I had Uncle John since he was 13 years old. And he's always been Uncle John. Always been the same. A good buddy, a good friend, helpful, thorough, loving, wild, rotten.
Sure, yeah.
But, you know, after his accident, he was the same. He was just wild. It was like he couldn't understand consequences for things.
Right.
A TBI kind of, when you receive a TBI, it kind of locks you into the age that you are. When he was in the hospital, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he was in the hospital, your brain, when you get a traumatic head injury, you have a year for your brain to heal. In that year, whatever you gain back, you'll gain back. Whatever you don't gain back, it will never be. It will never. Once your brain is injured, it doesn't rejuvenate itself. So he was a perpetual teenager, which you know. Do you have kids?
I do.
You have a teenager?
I'm about to, but she's essentially 12 going on 30.
Well, sure.
Is kind of how it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think she just skipped all those years and was like,
sure.
I know everything, get out of my face.
Right.
But yeah.
So you even being a teenager yourself, you don't really think that you don't really understand how smart your parents are until you get about 30 years old.
Yes.
Everything they say is wrong. Every experience or I had, so many times, even raising my kids, you see the ability you have to see around the corners. They don't have that.
Sure, yeah.
So you try to guide them in the direction to where they don't meet what is going to happen.
Sure, yeah.
But being a teenager, you know everything.
Right.
So he was perpetual 16 forever.
Talking about who he was
Sure.
in that aspect, he was rotten like the rough and rowdy.
Oh, it's
he
great.
would like to, rough and talk big and act tough, big guy. But as well as silly little cute things. He had one time I'd picked him up to take him somewhere, and on the way there, after we had gotten there, he was so thankful that I'd taken him there that he thought he'd give me a gift. So he comes back with a coffee mug, and it had dirt in it and it looked like weeds, but a couple 3-leaf clovers were in it.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I swear these were 4-leaf clovers. I accidentally ripped the 4th leaf off. I was like, okay, John, thanks. He was like, plant them. They are. Since all this has happened, I have found over 7 4-leaf clovers in my yard.
Oh, wow.
And around the area.
Yeah. That's
so
beautiful.
He would just do the cutest little things that, how do you replicate something like that?
Sure, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a long-term gift.
And it's important for people, and if someone's just coming in wondering, what happened, I know a lot of people already know what happened, but it's important to lay out who he was as a person, because it was so drastically not done on the first announcement of what had occurred. And essentially, John was ran over by an ambulance, and he was dragged nearly 2 miles, and he died later at the hospital, correct?
Yes.
He didn't even die on site.
Right.
And to go through the actual torture, because there's no other word for it, that John went through, he had an arm removed during this, and he had essentially his skin was
ripped
removed.
Off.
Yes.
And they also said extensive traumatic damage to his legs, his leg.
Yeah.
I'm not sure but it said leg.
Yeah. So if you're listening, and as much as this hurts to say, essentially picture an ambulance that is not tall enough to fit a person under it, but has a person shoved under this ambulance, and it is then driven down the road for 2 miles while that person is stuck in under the ambulance. And he eventually, was it ruled that he fell out while they were driving, or did they stop and he fell in the ditch?
What they seemed to think happened was that his trench coat that he had on got wrapped in the drive shaft. And it was wrapping, because when you go forward, the drive shaft goes in the same direction. So as it was turning, it turned so tight and kept turning that it went through his skin and through his bone and dropped his arm off.
Good.
And when they went to the bus garage to make the turn to go back up the river, when they had to back up, the drive shaft went the opposite direction, which released his body from underneath the car.
Okay.
And then his body was able to fall from underneath.
And then they sped away, leaving him there, still with the pulse, still breathing, leaving him there to bleed out, passing a dead cat on the road, as well as his arm, showing them the same disregard.
Goodness. So awful.
But I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But on top of it, to add to it all, one of the most traumatic parts that enraged, not the most, but an additive. This all led a blood trail through the community from point A all the way down to the bus garage with tire marks. And I mean, they were down there spraying it off that morning. And the children, they never canceled school. The children saw it when they drove into Elkview Middle School.
Golly. And I remember.
I don't understand why that never was marked off as a crime scene.
And why has it not been brought back up?
Would there be a way to detour away from the path?
No, you
or
have
would
got
you,
to. If you
So maybe that's why they didn't mark it off. But at the same time, my
cancel
goodness.
school. They
Yes.
cancel it for snow. You can't cancel it for
Torturous death.
right.
Phew. Golly. I'm so sorry, y'all. And there's a lot more we're going to lay out, but I want people to know, like, that's how shocking this is. And it's important you know who John was and is. We're going to keep on keeping his name going. This is going to be about a community as well, a West Virginia community that literally is the definition of what I tell people that aren't from here is what we're like, is what Elkview showed me.
Oh yeah,
As an outsider, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, so, and there is a Rough and Rowdy Brawl tape I had to share with people because it just shows you the type of
He's
personality
hilarious.
he had. Yeah.
He was a jokester.
Yeah,
I mean, just poked fun at about everything and anything.
sure. All right, let's.
I was gonna say sorry.
No, you're good. Keep going.
It reminded me back when we had that derecho.
Mhm. Yeah.
He was going around with my little brother who was, 8 at the time? 8 or 9? Tiny.
Yeah.
They were running around and filming on a camera, just acting like news reporters for the derecho, and a tree got uprooted. And they were just acting like they were a part of the news. Like a friend, a person.
Sure.
And it just reminded me of just how he just never took anything seriously, not even the derecho.
Sure.
Trees uprooting and
That's good to know. That's good to know. Let's rewind a little bit. So I want to walk up until how John eventually arrived, literally in front of this ambulance and the chain of events that occurred. So coming out of high school, what did he end up doing? Or did he end up graduating high school?
Yeah, he ended up graduating high school. He was homeschooled. After he got out of the hospital, they had homeschooled him.
Mm-hmm.
And as his brain and his leg, because he was casted from, he had a cast one all the way from his, a full cast.
So he already wrecked.
He had already wrecked.
So he do this in high school?
He did that in high school.
Okay, well, let's go there then.
Okay,
So what happened with, I have some pictures of the horrific accident.
That was a Beretta, if you can't tell, a Chevy Beretta.
Yeah, it's essentially, it looks like a crumbled up can. I don't know how, thank goodness he
Him and his
survived it.
girlfriend was in there.
Really?
Yeah, and his girlfriend, thank God, survived. Morgan Vaughn. I don't know her married name, but what had happened is, as you know, in rural areas, there's no double line.
Mhm.
It's just you get over, and if you're from there, you know which parts of the roads to get over on, and if you're on the side that you're going to go over the hill, or are you going to eat the ditch?
Sure,
so
yeah.
you got to just pick your poison.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 98, John and the school bus went around the curve at the same time, and they hit head on.
So he hit a school bus?
Now listen to this. He was hit in 98 by a school bus that gave him the TBI. He was ran over by EMS in 2026 and was dropped off to die in front of the same school bus garage that it started back in 98.
Oh my goodness.
But they went around the curve at the same time, and it caused, what you see. They ended up having to cut him out of the car, and his girlfriend has a gnarly scar on her arm, and thank God
there was a it was flooded on that side of the road.
It
right?
had been raining, and in the curve, you'd have to almost see it. Would have to have pictures to explain how it goes, but the
There's
bus driver
backwash that comes off of that curve all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, got
from
it.
the mountain.
Sure, yeah.
So it gets water built up,
But the bus driver, John Anderson, he got off the bus. I mean, it was a bus full of kids that hit, a head-on collision.
Sure.
John Anderson was the bus driver, and his heart was so broke. He felt so responsible. He profusely apologized to us, and we was like, that was nobody's fault. There was no way to do, around this. It just, wrong place, wrong time. He was at the hospital when John was in ICU. He was there visiting during the step down, and then when he had to go to rehab, and 3 months before he had passed away, because he had passed away from cancer, I seen him in a store, and he come up to me and he said, "Laura, I am so sorry." And I was like, "John, it's fine. We know you didn't do that on purpose. It was just wrong place, wrong time. It just
Sure,
was
yeah.
what it was." But
Sounds like a good dude.
he was an extraordinarily good dude, and his heart was broken that, and I hated that he felt responsible, because nobody blamed him for what. It was just
Almost more the grief of being a part of it.
Listen, yeah, sure. And things happen, man.
And they do.
Especially on these back roads, if stuff gets sideways quick.
Well, see, it's such a narrow road that there wasn't really any. You couldn't rule who was left to center, because the road wasn't big enough to be a middle. You just kind of gotta get through it,
Kind of the rule of thumb for wrecking on a back road is who's hurt the worst.
Right.
Let's take care of that, and then y'all can figure it out amongst your insurance.
Right.
I'm not going to be involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just one of those things. So I get it. Well, so did he get knocked unconscious?
Yeah, he was unconscious, and they wanted to health net him at the time because it was that bad. But there was no place to land. So the ambulance transported him to General. When we got to General, they told us that they was going to take him to ICU because he had traumatic head injury. They didn't know whether he was brain dead at the time, or there was no tests because it was an ER. They had to move him to the ICU.
Right.
So they allowed 2 people to go back before they transferred him to the ICU unit. And my dad stood up, and I hooked arms with Dad because I was going. I wanted to make sure he was all right. And it just looked like he was sleeping. Mm-hmm. And his leg was all jacked up. It was curved in different directions. And I'm sure it was because he applied the brake and it just crumpled his leg. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The following weeks of that was up and down because with head injuries, you do not know. You have to be stable enough to do a brainwave, activity. You have to be stable enough before they was able to even put his leg and rods and do the surgeries. You have to be stable enough. So they had him on a ventilator or life support. He was hooked up. And he had brain activities. He had a brain bleed. He had, they put a chest tube in him. He woke up. When he did wake up, he was so confused because they ended up having to chemically sedate him because he was so, when you waking up, you got stuff down your throat. You're trying to rip everything out.
Oh, yeah.
And so they ended up chemically sedating him for 2 weeks. And then gradually, they did. ICU is a kind of a tricky area because one doctor you'll see and it's grim. The next doctor you see, there's hope. And then the next doctor you see, it's grim. So I don't know if it's a tactic to prepare you kind of for what might happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if they don't talk to each other. I don't know.
Everyone's process is different. Hard to tell. So was this mid-90s? I'm taking a guess.
98.
98.
Yeah.
Okay.
September of 98.
Shoo. And that's multiple surgeries, right?
Yeah.
If your leg's that jacked up.
Oh, yeah. It was in they had it in a, traction. Because this bone, the big bone, they didn't want it moving and cutting that
femoral artery.
Yeah, they didn't want it to move or whatever. And then John, when he woke up, he seen the string that had the weights hanging across that was stretching his leg. And he grabbed it and it released the leg.
Oh no.
And then he let go of it and it pulled the leg and he passed out. So I mean, that was
I say that hurt.
Yeah. But they ended up tying him down, just for his own protection.
And, I imagine that causes a life of pain in that leg. It's just hard to get back to normal. So when he ended up leaving high school, what was his path to earn a living? Like, what was his next steps?
My dad and grandpa owned several coal mines. And so they thought, John was 16 at the time, so he had no income. So they thought, well, we can let him sweep the office
Sure.
and let it be that.
Right.
Okay. And then that wasn't he couldn't do that. He was always late. It was just a mess. So I told when my pawpaw had gotten sick and his health started to deteriorate. My dad, I was like, that because everybody gave John a place to stay. At this time, I think Dad had bought him a trailer to stay in. And so he ended up, I told my dad, I was like, Dad, listen, let me apply for Social Security disability for him because he cannot hold a job. He cannot.
Did you notice a change after that, Rick?
Oh, God. I noticed a change. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To say the least. Yeah. To say the least.
It's like he would notice and get frustrated.
Sure.
It was more of a change on, he could not remember.
Mm-hmm.
He just could not remember unless it's something tangible in his hand that would remind him of, like, if you handed him that, he could say, I got this from this dude called Creepalachia back in, and he was big on dates.
Mm-hmm.
He'd say, I got this on August the whatever in 2026. He knew all that, but he wasn't good at recall, like just right on the spot recall.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
Sure. Well, it sounds like probably ADHD, probably a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
And you said he had a frontal lobe injury.
Yeah. And he also had in the back of his head, he had a place as well, which was, it affected his ability to smell.
Mm.
So everything that he ate, he put vinegar on and hot sauce on, and it was wild.
Mm-hmm.
And because, man, there's sometimes you couldn't hardly be around him because he smelled like vinegar. I'm like, dude, take a shower. He's like, the girls at Gino's said I didn't stink. I'm like, the girls at Gino's are lying to you. I'm telling you out of love. Take a shower.
Yeah, they're putting pickles on sandwiches.
Yeah,
They can't tell.
yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. So life was definitely tough and different. And I know what it's like to have a family member kind of like that. Like, you love them to death, but at the same time, you want to shake them. And
Sure.
that's,
Absolutely.
And that was, and I'll read the press release here
Sure.
later, but that's where the misconceptions of who he is
Right.
could come into play.
Right.
So was he ever able to find something stable that he could do, or was it
No.
always just up in there?
Because if he had a job,
Mhm.
and first of all, time was never.
No
He-
sense of time.
he had no
it
sense
was
of time.
his own time.
It was just,
He'd call you at 4 a.m. Be like, "Hey, what's up?"
hey, what are you doing? Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was never.
He'd knock on your door at
Yeah.
2:30 in the morning. And be like, "Hey, what
Yeah.
are you doing? You want to come out and talk?"
Oh yeah, there was no sense of time. I said, John, if it is dark, do not come here. Do not call here. Do not. That's how we're going to have to do this.
Right.
Unless it's an emergency. If the sun is not out, do not call.
Right.
Did that stop him? No, but I don't regret it now. But yeah, he had no sense of time
Sure.
at all.
That's good to know. And I want to address, like, obviously he had a tough path, and there's something that comes up all the time, and it really shows me how unempathetic people can be when they
Right.
bring it up, because it's like they're looking for a rationalization on his death, and
Yeah.
it makes no sense to me, but they talk about him getting charged.
Right.
So what can you tell me about that situation, so that people will know, like, what happened?
John went to jail. John had a past. John did drugs. But it has nothing to do with him being hit and drug 2 miles to, that other dude said Al Capone didn't deserve that type of death.
Right.
John did. John went to jail. John, I've gotten mental hygienes on him. Not thousands, like a lot of mental hygienes on him.
Mhm.
My last mental hygiene on him was December the 2nd.
Now, when you say that, what do you mean?
A mental hygiene,
Mhm.
you petitioned the court. Like if I would see John not making, like I had to rationalize with John, like, and plead with him, like people's not going to take it the way that you're meaning it.
Right.
You know
Sure,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, you could carry whatever you want, but it might scare people the way you look, and I tried to control him. I'm so glad that he didn't listen, because he died a free man. He lived the way that he wanted, and he died a free. My goal was to keep him in a protective bubble, to keep the world from being so harsh and so judgmental, because underneath of what he looked like was a good guy. And it wasn't, and I told the judge on December 2nd, I said, I'm not worried about the older generation. They know what happened. I'm worried about the younger generation who might not understand, because he was rough looking.
Sure.
Well, and two, it's become a very impersonalized world with how entranced people are in their digital selves, their virtual selves, that reality hits differently to this younger generation because they've been so enthralled with it. It's almost like a weird, like, they're having a harder time expressing empathy.
A disconnect.
Person to person empathy.
Because we're like this.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, we're worried about
Yeah.
and it causes so much anxiety.
If they feel sad, they just hold it down, move over the sad face, scroll on.
Oh, and listen, I do the same thing. I'm addicted to this stupid thing, and
Yeah,
I can
that's what I'm
admit
saying,
it.
yeah.
But and it can make you feel like a different person.
Mhm.
So, and it's hard for people. That's part of this too. Is they just saw, the press release, like, which was essentially. It wasn't verbatim this. I'll read it verbatim in a minute, but it was essentially crazy man jumps on an ambulance
Right.
with a knife
Right.
and, fell off of it and died.
Right.
And it was just way more
Mm-hmm.
than what. But people are still empathetic, though. I got to say that, though,
yeah,
because the
for sure.
community came through.
Oh, there's been a
because
lot
they
of
know him.
Yes.
They
Yes.
knew him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did John do right all the time? No. Did he go to jail? Yeah.
What was his charge? I want to make sure I get that correct.
Which time?
Any ones I think we should
He-
lay them all out, because to me it doesn't matter.
Believe it or not, I don't know. He's been arrested. I have police officers with my number so they could call. They called me and said, "Hey, would you tell him to just go home?"
Sure, yeah.
Because people would call in because he threw rocks, and he it was his thing. He'd throw rocks and try to hit a sign or hit a little knot on a tree, and he was so hyper focused on that. He didn't care where he was, what was around.
Sure,
it was just like throwing rocks.
I do want to lay out
that was part of his injury though too, is that he was not able to see consequence in the future for things like
sure
a normal
consequence
person.
before action. That is a thing.
Yeah, totally.
It's innocent to him to be out there on the side of the road trying to hit a sign with the rock, but a passerby would think, oh, he's throwing rocks. He must be violent.
Right.
Or I need to report this, and that's not what he was trying to do at all. He was just in his own little world.
Yeah.
He stayed in his own little world.
And that's what I want to put. Like, did you feel John was violent?
Never.
No,
not
but
at
I will
all.
tell you this: he would not back down from a fight. But he never was arrested on breaking in houses and all this other stuff.
I'll add never erratically violent.
Sure. But
Because he fought in the rough and rowdy.
Wouldn't
We're not
you?
going to say
Can't
that
you
he
get-
didn't have an element of violence,
listen,
but
listen, blue collar
As-
Appalachians are going to defend themselves.
right.
So I
I
understand that.
think everybody should.
Sure,
Absolutely.
they should. And
That's what's wrong with the world today: is
Use
people
it or
get
lose
to
it.
walk around and with no consequences.
yeah. I just want to make sure, like, he wasn't walking around like Ric Flair DDTing people on
half
TV
the
and
time
stuff.
he was looking at probably a rock on the ground,
Yeah.
trying to figure out, oh, that's a cool rock.
in
What
his
is-
own world.
The
In his own
example
world.
being the rough and rowdy. If he wanted to do something wild, he did. He went places where it was cool to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was he'd go around collecting things, picking things up,
He
telling
was-
stories about it, praying, baptizing people in the river.
Was he?
Yes,
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was a and you can look it up. Head injury causes hoarder behavior. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Haley, look that up about
It
frontal
does.
lobe stuff.
Oh, listen, there's hoarders in this
Mhm.
state.
Now
Like,
I'm going to
come
tell
on.
you.
Like, I'm telling you, I'm related to a bunch.
Yeah, and
But
it's what it takes me back to is because if you gave him a piece of paper and you signed your name on it,
Mhm.
said good luck, he would keep that piece of paper. To me, it was junk, but to him, it was to remember the interaction that you and he had.
Mm,
Mhm.
I would just throw it away
right.
Because you could remember
because
without
I
it.
can remember without it,
He had to have something physical.
like
Yeah.
a
To remember you
tangible
by.
thing.
Sure.
It says that a frontal lobe injury can cause secondary hoarding behavior by damaging the brain's executive control system, specifically impairing decision making, behavioral inhibition, and item categorization. So that would also go with his thought categorization.
Yeah, I mean, frontal lobe injuries, and it's essentially what happens when someone gets addicted to opioids. Like, it transforms you to a different person. Like, it is a very traumatic thing. So
They told us-
your brain is ever transforming.
They
It is
told us-
constantly, actively changing. When you learn something new, it actively changes its structure.
They told us when he was released from the hospital, and this come from a doctor. With frontal lobe head injuries, you usually have 3 options in life: death, institution, or jail. That was the grim that was our grim, here you go, here's your boy.
Their outlook.
But everybody's like, the family needed to this, that. How do you make a 45-year-old agree to do anything? If he didn't want to do it, he didn't want to do it. Because in order to get a mental hygiene on somebody, you have to be a harm to yourself or a harm to others. That's the 2 things that you sit in front of a judge and discuss.
Mhm.
Are you a harm to yourself or are you a harm to others? Do you want to kill yourself? You want to kill others? If you could say no to either one of those, then you have the liberty and they can't infringe on your civil rights to be who you want to be.
It's one of those loopholes that I love the Constitution, but it's one of those loopholes of what their hands are kind of tied. Now, you said December 2nd. I want to clarify. Was that when you met with the judge to try and get him into an institution?
2025, yes.
2025, okay.
Yes.
So you tried,
Yes.
and the state told you no.
Told me that a head injury was a physical disability versus a mental disability. And I told them, no, it's both. Sometimes it can be physical. Sometimes it can be mental. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, you're damaging the brain. How's it not mental?
I mean, it's
it
1,000%. Yeah.
It changes the structure and the way you behave and the way you think. So how's it not mental?
Sure. And they got a playbook, and they got to go by the playbook, and this
But I
is their
will tell
14th case of the day and all
And I'll
that.
tell you
Reality
this.
versus
Yeah.
morality.
And honest to goodness, I wished I could remember the magistrate's name that we went before. She was the only one out of all the times I've petitioned the court 5 times in 1 week for one.
Are you kidding?
Denied. Okay.
Over 30 times.
Yeah, over
she
30
has
times.
tried. That's not
For-
an exaggeration.
Over 27
Because
years.
what I wanted him was just a timeout. Just a timeout. Not jail, not institution. Just a timeout. Regroup. Think about what you're doing and what it may come off to others. Because I didn't want him judged. And I didn't want him hurt because of what others might perceive as a danger. Could just be him with his head up his hind end. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's obviously a diagnosis here that you were never able to get.
You have to be willing.
Right. Yes. And you did all you could as a fellow adult to try and do that.
Yeah.
And
But to go back to what this magistrate said,
sure.
at the end of this trial, she looked at John and she said, John, I am sorry you received this head injury as a 16-year-old kid that was just coming home from school. I'm sorry that happened to you. I apologize that it looks to me that you've had run-ins with the law. You've been in an institution. You've done things and and to no fault of your own.
Mm-hmm.
You just mixed up in the way that you think and how you problem solve. I mean, it was hard.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. And you're watching, all the memories you have.
Yeah.
And you're watching this person struggle, and there's not really anything you can do about it. So his situation at the time, did he get to where he was living on the streets, or
He loved to live on the streets.
Mhm.
It's not that he was like put out on the streets by like no other choice. He literally just hung out outside. He would just go and get into stuff, pop around other people's houses. Like we said earlier, time didn't matter. So he would just walk up the road and go at 10 o'clock at night, pop in on one friend, leave their house at 2, walk down the road, pop in on somebody else at 4:30.
Mhm.
It didn't matter. He was just free. His crime was being free and being allowed to do what he wanted to do as a free adult.
And to Haley's point, I mean, that's something, because I've seen comments, people saying, well, he should have been better taken care of, or he should have had a place to stay.
That burns me up.
Oh, I'd imagine.
He never,
Yeah.
Oh, you
he
don't
never
know.
went without
Never.
a place.
He had Social Security, disability. He got a check.
Every single person screaming justice for John would let him stay at their house.
Right.
But he had his own apartment.
And he had his own
He had his own
apartment. He had
place.
his own trailer. All
His
throughout
dad
the years.
always made sure, always made
He
sure
had his own
that he
place.
was fed, had a place to stay. So that really needs to be addressed, because I have seen comment after comment of that.
Yeah.
And
claiming,
they
this and
they
that.
don't understand the situation.
Well, and like, people can't, like, I understand that culture of being a free spirit and just going and living life and not worrying about bills and doing all this thing. Now, it's terrifying to me, and I think that's how people look at it, of like, well, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Well, he's not you.
And
He had a
time
different
has gone
mentality.
on. We've
Yeah.
all become so complicit and happy with comfort.
Yes.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing to not want these things.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that you're a wrong person because you don't want a phone. It doesn't mean that you're a villain because you don't want to sit and watch TV inside. You know what I mean? He liked to go fishing. He liked to go wade through the Elk River looking for pretty rocks. He liked to get into nonsense with his buddies and go side by side riding. And he was just a normal dude.
He'd like to get a little fight on Rough and Rowdy Brawl.
Yeah.
Right.
Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a phone?
No, he'd
Really?
lose it. Like Dad has bought him. Listen, this is
It's
the
that
truth.
organizational
Do
stuff.
you
Sure.
realize that you can only, I think it's six Social Security cards in a lifetime that Social Security will give you?
Oh, really? Like if
Yeah.
you lose it?
If you
Yeah,
lose
there's
it,
You only get
and
6 of them?
you
You
only
did
get-
every one of them?
and he went every one of them. And you want to know the oddest thing that God did? You want to know? And I think not the oddest thing, but one of the gracious things that God did
Sure.
is I'm 50 and John was 45. So there's 5 years difference. His Social Security number was only 1 digit off of mine.
Mhm.
So I remembered his Social Security number only because it was the exact same one, except for I wouldn't tell him which group of numbers was.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Not to mention your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday was April 14th and he died on the 16th.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
goodness gracious.
It's all very weird. You know, God makes you sit back and say, how many times am I saying, what are the odds?
Mm.
Some things there's more to it.
Yeah.
Like you can write off coincidence and, but sometimes things occur and it's like, that's a little
much. It's a little much
different.
there.
And Haley can verify this. Chris can verify this because they're both in the room. And I've said this forever. You know how you sit and you say, if you had one wish in the world, what would it be? And I've asked my kids that and whatever. And as far back as I've always said, if I had one wish, I wish John's brain would be better. Like,
Oh.
that's what my wish was.
Yeah.
It's because I know by now, at 45, he would have outgrew the 16-year-old perpetual teenager that he was stuck in. And he would have become a man that would have had a family, that would have had a job, that would have grew up,
Mhm.
and matured like we all have,
Sure.
at that age. But, and I know you don't make wishes to God because God, he's not, you don't wish to God, you pray to
I
God.
do. All the time.
I know, but
Please.
A wish is just a prayer in a
wish is-
different font.
But
Sure,
what
yeah.
I'm saying,
Oh, I like that.
but what I'm saying is you don't go, God, please grant me this wish.
Right.
I
yeah.
don't.
No. That's just
But-
wording, though. Answer this prayer, please.
But the thing is I got to see John's brain was healed. John's brain was ultimately healed. I hate how he was took out of this world and it was criminal and horrific and undeserving. But I lived long enough to get my one and only world wish. Who in the world ever does that? To
No.
get their own the only one wish granted by God Almighty.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a good way to look. Because he was struggling. Of course, he didn't deserve this. This was awful. We wish he's still here. But, at the same time, though, it seems like he wasn't like stealing from people. He wasn't doing
No.
different things. It seems like he was just, like Tom Sawyer out running around and.
Now he did nuisance stuff.
Right.
He was a bratty,
a teenage boy.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
He was a
That should
he was
sum
a
it right
nuisance
up.
That didn't grow out.
that
of it.
didn't grow
Right.
out of it.
Got
Like
it.
Mentally
was his
still
crime.
a teenage boy.
Got it. And he was last thing before I read this.
Yeah.
How long was his stint out on the streets around this time, the night that he died?
Let's see. The last time I had talked to him, it was after his birthday, so it was in April.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never.
Well, yeah, I know for a fact he was up. My sister's
2 days.
2 days prior. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't him talking to me personally. It wasn't unusual because what we would do is we'd do a check. Have you heard from John? Have you heard from John? Cool. No news is good news.
That was
type
every
thing.
day.
Really?
Every day, at least 2-3 times a day.
Yep.
She was making sure he was okay.
Until
Where
it
he
was
was at.
Until it was the worst news.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. Yeah.
Well, that sets it up, and then and it makes total sense. So if y'all are okay, I'm going to read the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department first story in full.
Yeah.
Take me a minute,
Yeah.
but I think people need to hear it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to walk through what your experience was
Okay.
through everything.
Yeah.
So take all this that we've said under consideration, and then hear what was released to the public for the first time. So it says, man dies following incident with ambulance in Elkview, West Virginia at approximately 2:15 a.m. on April 16th, 2026. 2 female Kanawha County EMS employees observed a suspicious individual near their detachment in Elkview. The employees observed a male, later identified as John Curtis Lucas, 45, of Clendenin, wearing what initially appeared to be a bathrobe, but was later determined to be a trench coat. The male was reportedly prowling. These are keywords you need to listen to. The male was reportedly prowling around the area and was believed to be holding a knife. Fearing for their safety, the EMS workers left the area. That's going to be important too, from what you all listen to later in the prosecutor's office. But as they traveled along Railroad Avenue near Tudor's Biscuit World, the male allegedly ran from beside the building and leaped in front of their ambulance, landing on the hood of the vehicle while still believed to be armed. The EMS workers continued driving, at which point the male fell from the vehicle. Then they contacted Metro 911. Deputies with the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office responded to the area and located Lucas laying along U.S. Route 119. Lucas was found in critical condition and was transported to a local hospital by emergency medical personnel, where he later succumbed to his injuries. This incident remains under active investigation by the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office. So this releases, which, come to find out, is not at all what we all ended up seeing and you know what you all have heard extensively, and we'll get into. And let me just say what my dumb self says and get it out of the way. But I see this and I saw the article and I went on and I commented, and I feel so bad about this. But I went on and I commented, so a Thursday, and essentially just saying, you know, I don't even know why I said it.
Because that's the spirit they wanted to invoke with that story.
Yeah, I don't know.
They wanted an element of disregard.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not you. I mean, you're forgiven.
I mean, well,
You were led into believing something that was not the case.
I know, but this has really helped me question my first reaction to things.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless, when I had to question myself, I hear a human life is lost. Why is that my first comment? You know what I mean? It's not even,
because
it's not even funny.
They framed it like such a joke.
Sure. Well, I mean,
Because really, when you think about it, an ambulance is 55 inches off the ground. An adult, grown, healthy man can only jump about 20 inches off the ground. So right out of the gate, this story sounds like The Onion.
it was ridiculous. Yeah, The Onion is a good thing.
And this was our reputable community. Instead of saying a tragedy happened this morning in the early hours, more information will be released when it's had.
Yeah.
They could have left it classy, but instead they wanted to spin lies and drag my uncle's name like they drug his body.
Yeah.
My question is that what they're saying the initial police report stated, or?
So that was from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
That's the first thing I saw.
See, that's what really bothers me.
Me too.
Is that's what they wanted to say.
That's not news media. That's the Kanawha County Sheriff's release.
Which people are going to take, like I take law enforcement word to heart. You know,
Is
That's
that
what I'm
is
saying.
that the
We should trust it.
is that the report that the driver and the passenger gave?
Allegedly, how else would they know?
I know,
Yeah.
but I want to see if.
Oh, I gotcha. You're setting a thing.
Yeah, is that what they said to the police?
sure. It may be. I personally, like, when I read something like that from the sheriff's department, I'm assuming they've done interviews, they've seen evidence, they've looked at video, and then they're formulating this story to bring to the public.
See, isn't that considered a false police report?
I mean, it's definitely not what happened. Now, they
Right.
use the words alleged and all
But
those
what
things.
is concerning is, like you said, there should have been an investigation. They should have combed through all this stuff before releasing their report. What, they only took the statements of their alleging story
Yeah.
and ran it as the official Kanawha County Sheriff's press release?
Yeah, I guess that's something we'll hear in court. I'm interested in the timeline of
Yeah,
events. Like,
yeah.
did you see the video when you
Right.
made that statement? Did you do all these certain things? Because I personally just can't believe you watched that video and write that.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
I don't see how
Right.
you do that.
Mm-mm.
I don't either.
From
Yeah.
what we saw, and I covered it like how I look at it now. First off, I'm glad to apologize in person. I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to make up for this. Whatever you all need, let me know. But shouldn't have happened. But even still, after that, I approached it of like, okay, well, I want to still remain unbiased here. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. And then shout out Leslie Rubin.
Yes.
One of my favorite journalists on this planet Earth. I'll just keep on saying that, who made the decision to release the surveillance tape, which I think literally
Change the narrative.
saved
Yes.
this case.
Yes,
Here's
God
what
bless her.
happened with that. I get a call from a friend of mine that said they needed me to come over and get something. Went over there. There was the tape.
Mhm.
And it was gave to me. I took it to Scott. See, the morning of the, I'm gonna back up just a second.
Sure, take your time.
The morning that Dad called me, my brother Adam had went to Dad's house because my role with John was not just his sister. It was like my mom's been gone for 16 years, so it was like I had to make sure that he was all right. I couldn't sleep. It was just like one of my own. Like, yeah, he was grown. Yeah, he could take care of himself, probably better than I could. But I had to make sure he wasn't hungry. He wasn't this or wasn't that. So when I got the call, my mind started, and then I got a text saying, Laura, that did not happen the way it is. And then my mind started kicking in. All right, what do you mean? Then I got another call. He was drugged 2 miles. What do you mean drugged 2 miles? Then I got another call. His arm was drug off. What do you mean his arm was drug off? It would be reasonable for me to say, okay, I know John wore a black trench coat. It wouldn't be too far-fetched if at 2:00 in the morning he stepped out, an ambulance hit him, he died, they stopped.
Yeah.
Where it becomes so muddied for me is the distance and the arm getting drug off. That's without the video.
Mm-hmm.
That's without no other details. So then I go and I have to see. I have to see what's his blood trail look like.
And to the moment that they said that they believed he had a knife, everybody's red flags went up.
Yeah.
So I called Dad and I was like, Dad, because I had to shake him out of this grief.
Mm.
Or I felt like I had to shake him loose, like, because it was him that had to pull the trigger to get attorneys and PIs and his own criminal and his own, like everybody knows it's called 48 hours for a reason.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get people of your own choosing on the ground with John's interest at heart, not with the protection of a bigger entity.
Yep.
So I said, Dad, you've got to do something. Like, which when I called back, he was like, I hired a lawyer. They got a PI. That day, that morning, he already had it.
Shout out, Pastor. He's a pastor. People need to know that.
Yeah. So, and it's so unfair that the morning you hear that your brother is gone forever in such a tragic manner that you have to take your grief hat off, put it to the side, and put your detective hat on and go digging around. Because if it don't make sense, then probably you should go and look at it yourself. So I went, I was talking, trying to get a feel for it, drove up 119, and the trail was unbelievable. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah. So how I found out about it is, I read that, and then I started receiving messages. Like, we get to the point now where people just send me videos, and they're like, the evidence is all over Elkview on the road, and people are just acting like it's just another day.
Just another. Yeah. This was my baby brother. This was somebody that I loved. This was somebody that I was concerned with his every day.
Mm-hmm.
And a human being who deserved to live and not be tormented
aside from even that,
Yeah.
to make it more personal for me, all humans, I'm not even disregarding no humans. This was my human.
Yeah.
This was my baby brother that was the premature baby that turned into a little brat that I didn't want to be around, that turned into a pretty cool little kid that I could hang out with, then to get a head injury. And then my role switched to caregiver. This was my human. This was my person. And I couldn't grieve. I mean.
And then you got the speculation, and you got all of that I'm sure is overwhelming. Like, that comes in, and you probably have to turn the phone off or something.
He took it from me one night.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's been several nights that he said, just let me have your phone. Just go lay down, because I'm telling you, it's an all over body emotional exhaustion that you can't, there's not enough sleep for.
Mm-hmm.
You go to bed tired, you wake up more tired. It's just a physical, a mental, and emotional. And honest to goodness, if it wasn't for the community saying, let's rally, and me dragging myself to these events, and then me getting inspired by their enthusiasm for justice, that holds me up. That holds my dad up. That holds my family up.
Mm-hmm.
I will... and all those criminal shows on TV, the documentaries and stuff you watch, and they cut it down to like a 30-minute segment.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been into those, and I will never watch one of those the same again, because something they don't touch base on any of those documentaries is how you have to wait for the court process. A lot of those people on TV, they have to wait years.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, can you imagine going through something like this and you have to sit on your hands for years without any kind of closure, any kind of updates, any kind of, nobody called us.
Yep.
For months, we weren't told anything. And we sit here, first time ever going through something like this. Well, how come they're not updating us? What,
They act like John being the victim.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to use their wording on that motion, the alleged victim, which, by the way, is very offensive because he's in a crypt with his name on it, so there's no alleged to that. He's the victim. Is why do they not update? I'm his voice. My dad is his voice. My daughter, his family, the community, we're his voice. I know you got to play your cards close to your vest. I get that. I understand that. But do we not have a right to know something?
We can do better.
We
For
could
sure.
do better.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I think it's awful silly that due to the initial false reporting, there was an egregious community outcry. And now that outcry is too much. We must change venue because we have too much media coverage.
Big stinking
We
deal.
would have never been in this position having to cover this media ourselves if the media hadn't have butchered it based upon the false lie that the Kanawha County Police Department stated as the official truth.
Hey, there's the First Amendment. The Constitution, the First Amendment, it allows me to talk.
It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. It is one of the, I tell you what, I would really, really recommend that everybody out there get your Constitution and read it because it's we the people of the United States. You have got to be your own advocate. You can't just sit back and expect things to just be done right. You have to speak on it. God gave you a voice. You use it. God gave you a brain. Use it. He gave you rights. The United States, we the people have rights. Use them.
Yeah. And in turn, like, we got to be pro-Constitution on things we disagree with sometimes too. And that's where we get into, you mentioned years, and unfortunately I think it's going to take years.
I do too. See, I'm not so delusional in the fact that they're going to keep continuing.
I think I must say
I
at
think
least
it's
two.
by design. It's going to be continued for at least 2 years.
Yeah, and listen, like, everyone's entitled to the best defense. Everyone's entitled to an impartial jury. That's Constitution too. I understand that. I just, the certain arguments I disagree with, and we're going to talk about the motions
Can
here
I
in a
ask
minute.
you a question?
Sure.
You said we're entitled to the best defense.
Yeah.
Is that for the victim or is that for the criminal?
That's this crappy thing is victims, in my opinion, have the least rights out of anyone. I don't even think the victim has rights half the time.
Well, no.
And they should. But, of course, I don't want people falsely convicted too. Now, this is obviously different. There's a lot of evidence that I've already released publicly and has proved like, hey, we got to see this through in court. But, it's a touchy thing. And I get why, like, and I've said it 100 times, like, I don't think Kanawha County has a good prosecutor. And listen, it is what it is. I'm sure she's a nice person, but I do not believe a charge would have happened. And I've said this many times. This would not have happened if it wasn't for you all, if it wasn't for this community in ensuring it happens. Because I've seen it not happen in Kanawha County on cases.
And you know
not
what?
covered.
That is a pitiful shame.
I think so too. That's something we'd never be able to prove. They would never say that. But just going by the first piece of misinformation we received being from the sheriff's department, that just shows me like, oh, well, this would have just been a crazy homeless person who got killed by an ambulance,
Right.
That was trying to kill these women.
These poor little women in a 7-ton ambulance.
Yeah,
with
and
windows
there's-
that lock that could. Do you know how many ways out of that spot they were in?
I counted at least 4. That was not
Cutting
involving,
across a restaurant parking lot.
Yeah, even pulling out slow.
Even don't go that way.
Yeah.
even in the video, you watch them going about 5 to 10 miles.
It was
an
2
hour.
mile an hour, hit 40 mile an hour.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
pedal to the metal. I mean, how fast can this go 0 to 60?
I can't say nothing other than intentional. She broke her car 2 times. She saw him when she first hit the
I would
brake.
have much rather. I wouldn't have, if he would have had to die that night. I would rather have him been shot in the head and died than him drug like he was nothing for 2 miles with his arm being slowly grinded, the material grinding into his arm till it went through the bone.
Goodness.
But you
Through
still
the
got
bone?
people justifying it.
That's like a tourniquet to
You
like,
still got
absolutely.
people justifying it. Justifying it because...
Let me clear the air on this. If people listen, I have been very active in his life. My dad has been very active in his life. His brothers have been very active in his life. His nieces, all family. But let me tell you something. If you've never walked a mile in my shoes, or our family shoes, I should say, that you have to take care of someone with a TBI, then you absolutely have no idea what it's like to have to try to get them help. If they are an adult, they have rights that are protected by the Constitution.
It is next to impossible. It is
Sure, yeah.
next to impossible.
Yep. Well, everyone needs a sister like Laura. I imagine just this path of flames popping up when she walks into a room like, you're going to tell me what happened, you know?
Yeah.
I just imagine like it's time to figure out what happened. Now there's other aspects of this that will be shown in court
Yeah.
eventually
Yes.
that you all were privy to, thanks to, and shout out to the prosecution office for this. This
Shout
isn't
out.
something they usually do. They let you come in and they let you view the dash cam, correct?
Right?
Okay.
Yes.
And we can talk about your experience with that.
Yes.
It's obviously going to be brought up in court, but I think there's things that people need to hear to add some context
Yeah.
to this. So, how are you made aware of this, first off?
How was I made aware that we was going to view the...
Yeah, they were going to invite you in.
We got a hold of our lawyer, Scott, and Dave Moy got a hold of us, and Deb Rusnak has set it up to where me, Carl, Adam, Dad, Chris, Erica, like
the nucleus.
the nucleus, could go in and view this 33-minute tape. Okay. And I appreciate it because I'm going to tell you what, it just to kind of back up before I go forward. This is almost like I have told this story so much that it's like a story right now to me because I can't get him too emotional because there's too big of a fight left.
Sure, yeah.
So I have to like almost robotically go forward and then cry at night every single night. Trust me. And on the phone with you.
Sure, yeah.
And on the phone with you. So we go in and we sit down and she begins to explain that it's graphic. And this is the least graphic thing that we got to see. So there's 400 pieces of evidence at this time. I don't know, or at that time. So I don't know how many pieces of evidence there are now, but
To date, yeah.
so we go in and we sit down and the video starts and we see them coming. I don't know names of road like my brothers do.
Oh, I wouldn't know him anyway. I'm terrible.
Main Street.
Nah, I'm not even talking about that.
No.
Okay. I'm so bad with
Where
directions.
are you talking about?
The main road.
Railroad Avenue?
No.
The main road, I-19 or
Yeah, that road.
119?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
They're driving up it. That's where it starts.
got it.
Okay, so they're coming back and they're saying something, charge the equipment. That's what they was going back to this.
No, they had to plug the truck in because it's a diesel.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I see. I didn't even know that, but so they was going to plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that meant, but that's what they did. So they pulled in. They're sitting there talking back and forth, and they're saying, first, I have to back up. When they pull into, what's the name of the road? Main Street. John bends down, picks something up, and then motions on. And then he goes off.
So you see him?
I see him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I see
It's
him.
almost, he was picking something up out of the road so they wouldn't run over it.
He even
what he
motioned him
was
like,
doing.
go on. Got it.
You know,
Like
he picked
that.
it up and then he was like, okay, kind of thing.
Got it.
Never went back. Never even fooled with them girls. For 40 minutes, it showed him on a different camera in front of tutors picking up cigarette butts or picking up stuff in front of there. He had no idea what them girls were doing.
Yeah, he'd already moved on.
He done moved on.
Did they comment on him?
Yes.
Yes.
That time?
Yes. Not at the time that they picked. I don't think the comments started until they backed in the truck to get out to plug it in.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. They did not go into the
Station.
building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing that I want to set clear is they never left or they never went into the building. Could they have went in the building? Probably. If they was as scared as what they said they was. But they was sitting there. The passenger was taking selfies and she was like kind of on her knees leaning over looking out the driver's side.
Right.
And the driver said, yeah, that's John Lucas. And they started talking about how creepy he was. And okay.
Judgmental.
Sure,
Just, this, that, and other. So she gets out, she plugs it up, she gets back in the car, and she rolls the window down, looking, speculating, is that him popping his head out of the dumpster? Is that him peeking around I'm scared, blah, blah, blah. And then the conversations, they're fiddling on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Then Raina said, I have to go get my medicine. So she gets out of the ambulance. She don't run to her car. She gets out with her cell phone and is doing this with her head down, walking to her car. Now, if I was afraid, she was going after her medicine, she said. If I was afraid, first of all, I wouldn't even have took my medicine. I'd have said, let's get the hell out of here, and then I'll take my medicine later. Or my head would have been on a swivel.
You'd be on a swivel.
Looking and
Sure.
looking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, walking, not speed walking, typing on or looking or scrolling on her phone, doing something with her phone without looking around. She comes back a little bit later, takes a selfie. I don't know in what order the selfie come, before or after she gets out of the ambulance to go get her medicine. Okay, so the driver gets out to unplug.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take off. They go down
Main Street back
Main
toward
Street.
where they come in.
Yeah, they go back down that way.
But before they get to the road, the end.
There's a parking lot to where you can enter Dairy Queen parking lot.
Got it.
So she says, let's go see where he's at. And then turn.
Was that verbatim what she said, or the
Verbatim.
gist?
Let's go find him.
No.
I want to make
Let's
sure
go
I
see where
get.
he's at, ain't it?
Verbatim.
I can find out right now.
Carl would have that wrote
I
down.
got it right now.
Carl, my brother, took notes.
And I just want to make sure, and it's important, the intent there too of you stating that she was walking to her car on her phone.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
important because they said that
Let's
they
go see
were
where he's
scared.
at.
afraid of their lives, and all of this stuff comes into play.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah, it is. It's let's go see where he's at.
Yeah, let's go see where he's
So
at.
that's audibly heard. Who said that? Alyssa?
The 19-year-old ambulance driver.
the one
to
that's
the
driving.
seasoned
Gotcha.
EMT.
Let's go see where he's at. So they did this big turn in there and drive, and then they turn on the main street.
Mhm.
Okay, they're driving. Their eyes are scanning back, over towards
Railroad
the fence
Avenue
line.
At
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. And they're heading
There's Main Street and Railroad Avenue, and Dairy Queen sits in between of them, and you can drive through the parking lot from one
and
to
then
the
go
other.
in the other direction. Okay, so they're going in the other direction, and here comes John running because he said he was going to get his tick bite looked at. Okay, so he comes running, and they scream like it was Freddy Krueger. So help me. And
no, Raina says there he is.
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about.
Okay, when they saw him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
and
my
they
God,
said,
don't
there he
forget
is.
that.
And then John runs out, and then you see his face, and you see the speedometer is at 2 miles an hour. Okay, and then it inches, and then when John's face, I'll never forget that. When he sees that there was no stop, his look on his face was confused and like mad, like confused, like, oh shit. And then he shifts off to the left and grabs a hold, and then the speedometer went from 20 to 40.
Goodness gracious.
And you could see this rear suspension. I mean, sink down.
And that.
And then she said, did I do the right thing?
Yep. Oh my God, I hit him. Was that the right thing to do?
Could you tell that they knew he was under the ambulance during that video? Because there's some muddiness in the fact that, it's on a dispatch transcript, but it's not. We don't know if it was relayed to the ambulance drivers.
There was a noise. There was a noise.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody's ran over anything, you know what noise I'm talking about. But it was like a big noise.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a like that, real loud. And when they got to the Elkview Middle School parking lot and then went back out to the four-way, that's when the passenger said, I think he's under the vehicle. Is that when it was?
Mind you, just to give you context.
So that was audibly said?
That was audibly
Sorry,
said.
Haley,
no, you're
Yeah.
okay. I was just gonna
He's
say,
either on top or underneath is what.
yeah.
It's been a long, it's
I've
been
got
like.
it right here. I got the transcripts pulled up right here.
Yeah, well, wait.
Is he under the truck?
Is he under?
Is he under?
But to put it in a little bit more context of the areas that they're driving through, at the end of Railroad Avenue, where you see that they drive toward at the very end of the first video that was released. First of all, in that video, you can see that ambulance bouncing around. Come on, you can see it. At the end of that road, there's a stop sign. They go up onto the main road. There's a four-way, another stop sign. They go up to Elkview Middle School. They stop to turn into Elkview Middle School.
But they never stopped.
They never stop. They're just coasting. But then there's another, they come back through that same four-way, another stop sign. So you're telling me they stopped all these times and didn't think, let's check.
Sure, yeah.
Or did they even stop? Or were they just running stop signs and...
Yeah, it sounds just wide open until, I don't...
It's wild. It's
goodness.
wild. I don't know how a human being can react and act in such...
You absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I heard something underneath of the...
Sure.
You heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to let people know, the dispatch, there's a transcript that basically says, tell them to stop. And I can't remember exactly which party said that on the call.
I think that was the police told Metro to tell without
tell them to stop.
To tell them to stop.
Yeah, we'll tell them to stop. And we don't, we'll find out in court most likely what was told, and, we'll see how that unfolds. But obviously, the most damning thing is let's go find him.
Why?
I will also
to pester him?
Yeah.
To
aggravate him?
Well,
Why would you go looking for him?
Yeah, that line shows that you're not scared.
Afraid.
Mm-hmm.
That shows that maybe you're bored and it's at night and you're wanting to get into something.
To pester him?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, That's the most damning thing. So
well, the remark of asking if he was under the truck comes out loud, audibly comes out approximately a half mile in after.
I wouldn't even say a half a mile, would you?
It said approximately. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
approximately half mile into the trip. Keep in mind, it's reported John was dragged nearly 2 miles.
I'm not sure, but I mean, when you're 10 years old and you run over something,
yeah.
Why you're talking? Do you really
stop?
run over something? If somebody's in front of you, do you run over somebody? Does somebody have to say no, no, no? Don't you run out? Take your car and hit them with it.
And the argument, like you had posted about earlier, who needs to be told to stop?
Yeah, no, that's the thing is like, regardless to me, you don't need to be told to stop. Here's the thing. The disastrous decision that Alyssa Middleton will probably ever make in her life was that she floored the gas.
It keeps her awake at night. I hope it does. I hope the screams, I hope it bothers them. I hope it wrecks them for the rest of their life. And because it wrecks me.
Sure, yeah. And it probably will. I always go back to like, I feel like in these situations, many situations, humans are impulsive and they make these snap decisions that literally they don't realize the gravity of what they're doing that turn into the absolutely most horrific thing they could possibly done. Like, for instance, I believe when people decide life isn't worth living and they decide to jump off of something, I think that they jump off and they regret it as soon as they do it. Especially like I feel like there's just a lot of that goes on. And it's not like, here's the thing. I'm on the side of justice, and however that unfolds, people can just get out of the way. Like, I'm not concerned on the feelings that someone has for that. I'm just concerned the victims receive the justice they deserve.
Here's my... I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm interrupted. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, and actually, to give Kanawha County, I didn't expect this level of charges. So I'm actually... I'm glad that they decided to do that.
Because it was horrific.
Right, yeah. And there's stuff that we haven't seen, like you're mentioning. So, yeah.
And we're going to keep praying and we're going to keep leaning on God because that's just what's making people upset. The hate comments still justifying what on God's green earth in his past could ever justify a torturous murder of this way.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just it's a spirit of evilness.
When do you think the threat was eliminated, if there was? 2 miles? A mile?
Yeah.
Where's
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Driver education handbook says as soon as you strike the pedestrian, you are to stop the car immediately, check on the person, do not move them, and call for help.
Sure, yeah. And obviously, they didn't follow protocol. There's no protocol like that. I've talked to many.
Well, that's not even ambulance. That's basic driver's education. I mean, yeah. Before you get on the road, a 15-year-old should know this.
Yeah. Now, EMS-wise, the protocol would have been to lock the doors. It would have been to get out of the situation. It wouldn't have been to commit potential murder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'm going to say something that might rub. I don't care. I'm going to say something. I do not think that there should be 2 girls that's of that age with that amount of experience on a midnight job as an EMT. They couldn't pick me up. Dead weight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, being a young girl in a job with other young girls late into shift, goofing off happens. Mm-hmm. You're just gal palling around. You're not too serious. You're not really doing anything. Nothing's going on. You're just joking, giggling, texting, selfieing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the selfie, I mean, like, I get we're selfie people, but in that situation,
I want to know. I want to know what the selfie looked like.
Right.
I want to know what scared
like this.
I want to know what scared looks like. I want to know what petrified for your life looks like.
Yeah,
I'm very curious about that. Those selfies.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know the loophole that these 19-year-olds get to drive. I drove a rollback. Mm-hmm. I had to be 21. I had to go get Class Ds.
Yeah.
I had to take a physical examination as well as a Class D examination. The ambulance truck weighs probably more than a roll. It weighs more than an empty rollback. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
How is that okay?
Not to mention carrying onboard equipment to stabilize and save lives.
Sure.
I don't understand that. And I know that's a total different.
What if he was ODing? They didn't know what was going on.
What if he was an old lady? What if he was a
Well,
kid?
I mean, for him, for what
there's
it was.
A lot of these what ifs.
But what if?
I know.
But what if he was? What if one of his buddies was ODing? What if he was trying to get help for someone ODing? Would that
Then
that
two
would have been
people
two?
would have been dead.
Would have been. I know there's a lot of what ifs. It just makes me mad that they decided to
Judge him right off the bat.
Yeah.
stomp
that's
the
what happened.
gas.
That's what
To
happened.
the extent of taking his life.
He's gone. There is no more John for me. Do you know what that does for my whole mindset?
That's why this is so important to us. You know, anybody can go and meet Alyssa. Anybody can go and meet her, talk to her, make a judgment on her. Anybody can see what she's doing in the future, how she's going to go about her life, and they can go and talk to her. She can answer their questions. John's not here to do that.
I
Sure,
will
yeah.
tell you this. I think Judge Hardy did when they asked for a secure venue, and he was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
Basically,
Right.
Oh, right.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's logical.
We'll get into that next. So at this point, I think it's good for us to bring up the motion. So, well, fast forward. Well, actually, rewind. Alyssa Middleton is who was driving the ambulance, and they ended up charging her
Mhm.
with 3 felonies. Do you have those, Haley?
I do have
I don't want to
them.
just spout them off and get them wrong,
I've
so we'll
got
wait
them
till you
right
got that.
here.
But she ended up getting charged, and was it during? They had a special session,
Yes, sir.
and this was in June. I'll have to.
Yes.
I wanna-
No, it was April. What is the end of April? Wasn't it?
Was she charged in April?
It says that this is the official indictment paper.
Okay.
It says that it was filed May 7th.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
State
May,
State
yeah.
of West Virginia versus Alyssa Brooke Middleton. Voluntary manslaughter felony, aggravated vehicular homicide felony, and leaving the scene of an accident causing death felony.
Got it. And May, I think that's around the regular grand jury schedule, but I think it's usually
They
the
had
second
just went out.
week. Oh, okay, that's what it was.
That's why it was
had to call
a
it
special session.
Got it.
Yeah.
So they ended up doing that. Do you remember who told you the news that was going to occur?
Deb Rusnick.
So
Yeah.
did they inform you all when you watched the video that they were planning on pursuing?
They was going to ask because they didn't know if it would be granted.
Well, they were going to present it to
Yeah,
the grand jury.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So that happens. What's your initial reaction when you heard that the indictment occurred?
Thank God. Thank God that this was not what my initial suspicion was, that this was going to be just swept under the rug and forgot about. So thank God for his mercy and his grace to make a way to where it was going to be seen and heard in a trial.
A tiny nudge toward justice. A tiny nudge towards justice.
Sure, yeah. And at this point, every little bit helps. Every step forward helps. So, in the community, I mean, I think a majority of people shared that same opinion, is that we may not potentially see charges here. So, I think in general, like I know myself, I was actually surprised in a good way on how hard they were going with the charges, because it's the one is up to 3 to 15 years, I believe. I can't remember. I did a breakdown where I broke down the potential sentence. Now I believe these who knows, but these probably would run concurrently, but I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, obviously no one's convicted yet. But,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. What was next in your mind?
a long, horrendous time till the other day.
Sure.
Every day was a whole 24 hours. And I know that sounds so crazy, but from April to when did we go before? Tuesday? August the 28th.
Yeah, July 28th.
July? What is it?
We're in July.
Oh God! See, I mean, it's just,
okay. Time flies.
That's
like Chris put on the thing at 8:30. All y'all are in August.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So, yeah, remember. But yeah. So that happened, and that just happened just this week. Now, before that, her defense team put in 2 motions. One motion was for a change of venue.
Yeah.
Due to their belief that it's going to be hard to find an impartial jury in Kanawha County due to a bunch of media outlets. Creepalachia was actually mentioned, but there was others too. WCHS.
Justice for John.
Justice for John. The
Yeah.
hashtag was brought up, and their motion.
Jamie Copenhaver was.
Yep, Jamie was in there,
Yeah.
who's been covering this out of Florida.
It's amazing celebrities get trials at all.
Right.
It's blowing my mind. If this is an exponential and overwhelming media coverage, I don't know how celebrities make it through.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and then the other motion was to seal that information.
Which
Yeah.
is laughable because she was paid on duty in a public within a public county entity paid by taxpayer dollars, and it falls within our first constitutional or our First Amendment right within the Constitution as taxpayers who paid for that
Sure.
to view that. And I tell you what, I have issues with it as well because she was on duty the day she murdered the morning that she murdered my uncle. Does that mean I paid for her to kill my uncle?
Right.
Well, you paid for her to.
That's what I'm saying. And then she goes on paid vacation the day after until a good
21 days. No,
the 28th of May when Monica stepped down, resigned.
Sure. And I'll be devil's advocate. I'll just add the allegedly.
Allegedly.
Put that word in there.
Yeah.
But yes, it's frustrating. And plus she's not a minor.
She's not a minor.
Like that's typically the only records they end up sealing.
Why do they even say? It annoys me to my core of my being when they refer to her as a girl. Why would you let a girl drive an ambulance if she's so little and
Sure.
itty bitty tiny little innocent thing? Because I know I wouldn't let my little tiny innocent drive something that could in an area that could cause a situation where they had to act with adult minds.
Sure, yeah. No, I understand. And listen, like they're throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, they are. Whatever sticks.
I also really appreciated that the one who filed the motion, her law team that filed the motion to seal the venue, they themselves were the ones that said they understood that it posed constitutional hurdles.
Right.
So why was it proposed?
Just to see what happens.
Yeah, that's
Spaghetti.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Just to waste the court's time, I believe.
And listen, like any good lawyer would have done this same thing.
Of
Right.
course.
It's
We
doing his
we
job.
disagree with it. It is what it is. But the frustrating part for me is the fact that they are actually awaiting the Supreme Court decision on another case that actually we worked on, where Natalie Cochran, who murdered her husband with the use of insulin, appealed to the West Virginia Supreme Court that she should have gotten a change of venue, and they're going to rule on that. Now, here's the kicker. Supreme Court doesn't meet until September.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to wait until then, and then we have to wait
For the
on their
ruling.
backlog for them to have oral arguments or whatever they end up doing. And then after that, we're going to hear from this judge what he decided, because basically he said he's going to wait and see what they say before he decides what he's going to
Well,
do.
that's until they get all the proper
Here, I got an
evidence
idea.
sorted out. And, the medical examiner report and all the other outstanding evidence that have yet to be presented between both parties. It just
Just
seems
change
odd.
the venue.
Yeah. Well, we were calling for that from the beginning because who around
cares?
Kanawha County don't know John Lucas?
See, okay, well, I guess the bombshell is like, we don't care if the venues change. Actually, I'm kind of for that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
because they
Because
can't
they
come
can
back
put it in
later
front of
and say,
Martians.
like, that Natalie Cochran, or however you say her name, oh, it was impartial. I mean, just let's do away with it.
You pronounce it devil. That's how you say her. No, I'm just saying. Y'all don't know about that
Yeah.
case.
Yeah,
Trust
I
me,
do.
if the devil's on the earth,
Right.
Well,
it's her. But so hurdles, and it's gonna when with that comes time. So literally, I don't know. I couldn't imagine or speculate on when this will potentially go to trial.
Me neither.
So it's frustrating.
I don't even. I'm not even looking at timelines no more because when I have a day like August the 28th, it was hell getting from April to August. Hell.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be quiet.
Mm-mm.
Why should I be quiet?
No.
Yeah.
And I the thing that keeps me patient is the Bible tells me, James 1:3-4, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, and let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. He's going to take care of this, and he's going to take care of us.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of us trusting and being patient. And it doesn't matter how long, doesn't matter where. The evidence is going to speak for itself. And if it exonerated her, why is she running?
Listen, if they for 1 minute, if there was any bit of video that showed him leaping and lurking and jumping and all that, don't you think for 1 second that they wouldn't have had that looped on the news straight after the allegations every 15 minutes to back up Kanawha County's story?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Did you see a knife in his hands on that dash cam?
No.
Nope. I've even got
Gosh.
I've even got
His
this
hands
right
were
here
this. I seen clearly both hands.
from a news article. It says Sergeant Jeremy Burns with KSCO confirmed
And where is it?
that Lucas was still alive when he was found. So that goes back to the recent report just the other day after the pretrial of them stating that he died there. That is not true. It's confirmed that he was still alive when he was found. He died later from his injuries after being transported to the hospital. As additionally noted in the statement, Lucas was reportedly prowling around in the area and was believed to be holding a knife. However, no knife was found either with Lucas or in the area of the incident.
And where was that you just read from?
This is according to the Kanawha, if I don't have the answer.
No, it's okay.
I'll have to find the exact. I crop it for videos, so I don't have the exact thing, but I can send it to you.
No, that's fine. Take your time. That's what leads me to believe there's no way that they looked at a camera before writing that initially.
No.
There's no way. Because, I mean, if you're saying that on the dash cam, you saw both of his hands,
Both
you're not
of
going to
his
put that
hands.
in the.
Mm-mm.
Both of those hands.
I'm with you on that. I don't think they did.
I don't see
I don't know
how.
how they could have.
Yeah, I don't see how.
You know, I think all
and no knife was ever found.
None.
Correct? Okay.
no knife was ever
It says
found.
no
Got it.
knife was found either with Lucas or in the area of the incident.
Got it. Okay.
I'm going to find the exact match of it.
Well, here's. I mean, there's.
Well,
it's
I
hard
have
to
to.
find.
I have to clear that up.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
One of the motions too. The other motion that was filed was a continuance, and that was on both sides.
Mhm.
That was the defense and the prosecution.
Yeah.
So there was 3 motions that was filed, 2 by her team, her side only, and then the other one was
Prosecutors.
prosecutor. as
So,
well.
what were
Yeah.
they saying the reason for their continuance?
Waiting on toxicology report, waiting on medical records, different things like the night that he died,
Mhm.
waiting on those records.
Waiting on some evidence too. There was a file that was too big for them to download.
From the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
file too big to download
from the
Interesting.
cloud. Yeah, they wanted it. They ended up having to get it on a hard drive,
which is amazing. It's amazing that
They subpoenaed
this
the
antiquated
hard drive.
technology that has been happening, that has been the way things have done for years, ended up being what worked.
Right. Well, so the toxicology report, I understand, because that takes an eternity in this state.
6 months?
Forever.
Yeah. Which is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, yeah. That's the thing to me is, like, it doesn't matter. But I guess they want to have it in case just they were going to try and pull some kind of thing with something in his system or something. I don't know. If I'm the defense against spaghetti at the wall.
Right. Gotcha.
So I get it. You want all the information you can possibly get, but still creates more time. So if there's a silver lining in this, though, which is obvious, what the silver lining is here is a family who loves John and a community who loves John. So early on, this is one of those cases where the community really just stood up and said, I'm going to speak exactly what happened, and I'm going to not only speak it, I'm going to shout it to the rooftops until you eventually listen. And that's what everyone did. And I'm just, they did things like they're still having chalk events where they're writing on people's windows. And
we ride the trail that he was drugged once a month on the 16th. Every month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We blow our horns. We say we're still here.
Yep.
We're not going nowhere. So we'll continue to do that until justice is served.
Before the indictments came, protesting was going on down at the courthouse all the several days. So it's really shout out to the community. You all really did. Because there's been so many cases that happen like this where, and my biggest gripe is with missing people in this state. If someone's addicted, they rarely make the list.
They're wrote off.
Yeah. Like if John would have disappeared.
Wrote off.
There's a good point. There's a good,
he OD'd, poor little homeless dude.
Sure, yeah.
It is what it is. And I could get on when he was missing, out of my eyesight, I should say, me not knowing where he was. All I would have to do, this is how the community looked out for him. All I would have to do is get on Facebook and say, if anybody sees John today, tell him to get a hold of his sister or his dad ASAP. And within 24 hours, he'd call, what do you want?
Sure.
Because he was 45. There was one time, and one time only, that, and it killed me, but he had walked to General over a bug bite. I think it was a spider bite, as a matter of fact. We lived on Concord. We lived on Concord in 2011.
Found it.
He walked to General. He walked Bigley Avenue to General.
Now, when you say General
Hospital.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So he walked to General Hospital. He went and he got doctored up and a prescription. On his way back to my house, which is on Concord, which is all the way through Bigley Avenue to Concord Street, which is
just past
big Mink Shoals area. Okay. When he got there, I said, John, where's your prescription? Because he said, look what I found. I found a snap-on tool. It was a snap-on screwdriver. I was like, that's good, buddy, but where's your prescription? He's like, I lost it. I was like, John, you walked all that way to get the prescription. He said, I laid it down to look at this snap-on tool, and then I forgot to pick it back up. I was like, get in the car. Let's go see if we can find it. And luckily we found it, but he get distracted so easily.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you was telling me his funeral was massive, great turnout.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Okay. A lot of the times I would say, John, just stay home. Just, I try to control him. And it wasn't a control like I needed him to do exactly what I say. It was more like I wanted to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd say, I'm going to go see my friends. So it was one of those things. But at the funeral, there was 1,700. Is that 1700? 1,700 people to 2,000. And I spoke with the funeral director, and he said that was one of the largest services that he has put on in his 37 years. And for a monster, that's a pretty good turnout for a monster, wouldn't you say?
It's beautiful. It's people tend to show you when stuff like this happens. West Virginia, in particular, shows me who they really are. Like people are genuinely overall kind, good people, and that's great that they supported y'all in doing that. How has
we went to? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
They have a in memory of spot down there at the bus garage, and we went down there one day, and there was a woman and her son. And this will just kind of tell you, what kind of a guy he was. And they were laying flip-flops down at it. And she said that one time she didn't have shoes and she needed to go into a store and they wouldn't let her in. John took off his shoes and gave them to her so that she could go in the store and get stuff for her baby, was it?
Well,
or something like that?
Her daughter was killed in a wreck over that embankment.
In Pinch. Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't have shoes and she needed to go run errands. And John was standing outside of one of the stores and and she needed shoes to go in there.
Right.
And John took his shoes off and gave it to her so that she could go in and buy herself a pair of flip-flops. So I was down there sticking flowers, the live flowers from the funeral around this memorial, and she got out with flip-flops. She said, I know this is strange, but this is what happened. And she told me the story, and
he didn't know her from Adam. He didn't know her.
No.
Just
Yep.
That's good to know. That shows you the humanity in it. And it's important for us to lean on that because, if how many people are walking around the street of Charleston right now?
Yeah.
That have the same family who care about them where they're struggling and they're trying to work through issues. And we tend to judge, and we definitely did early on in this. So now it's keeping his name out there, ensuring that the justice system works in this case, and remembering him. What's your plan? How do you move on from this?
I don't legally or
emotionally.
I will. I never.
One day at a time.
We'll move on from this. Like, I lost my mom. She had cancer. I was able to say goodbye, and it got to the point in her illness that I was hoping that death would come sooner than later because of it was more horrendous her being here than what was for her to come.
I understand that.
So I was able to get through that. It was hard because you lose your parent. It rattles your security in life.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a normal grieving process you have to go through. But with John, it was the way he went. I've never watched even a horror movie like this. This is unheard of. This is gruesome.
Yeah.
I will never get over the way that he died. And I will never stop speaking on the way that he was treated. I will never. I'm at peace knowing that he's in heaven. I'm at peace knowing that as soon as he left this earth, that God healed his brain, that God healed his body, and that he wouldn't come back to this world for nothing. I could rest at night knowing that. Does that mean that I'm not sad? No, it does not mean that I'm not sad. It means that I'm one day will see him again.
Mm-hmm.
But I will never get over how he was took.
Mm-mm.
If Alyssa Middleton woke up and said, you know what? I was in the wrong and said, let me go and plead guilty and get this going and serve her time or whatever, figure out a plea deal. Would that somehow help you all on just seeing accountability?
It would be a nudge toward justice, a nudge toward accountability, but that she's got bigger problems than an earthly punishment. There is a greater judgment than an earthly judge, and I fear for her if she doesn't repent and accept Christ and change the way that she's viewing things and start regarding human life with a little bit more regard, then I fear for not only her life here, but her everlasting life of torture and torment tenfold of what she's ever given.
Yeah.
I plead and I beg that she repent, because it will be a long road, and that does not discredit the need for owning up to your earthly judgments and your earthly crimes. You have to answer for what you've done. It says a man reaps what he sows.
And it also says in the Bible that you are to follow the laws of the land.
Yep.
That you live in. I mean, God first. I mean, how can you forgive somebody if they've
never asked for forgiveness? That's just it.
Sure. Well, and I think it adds insult to injury in the fact that it's also defamation of who John is, because obviously a lot of the things that, the police were told or whatever were not true. So I'm just curious, if the prosecutor offered a smaller deal, would you all accept that? Or do you want to definitely pursue these specific charges?
Oh, I think
I'm going to tell you,
it's up to God, but I believe maximum.
Well,
sure.
I know that we're not looking for pleas.
Got it.
But I also did.
John didn't get any plea. She become judge, juror, and executioner. So,
yep. I also did find the article I was talking about. It was posted on May 1st. It's titled "Lawyer Zero: Indication of Cover Up an Ambulance Dragging Death," and towards the bottom, that's the article that says Sergeant Jeremy Burns confirmed that John was still alive and noted no knife was found either with Lucas or in the area of the incident. But it also says this, and I didn't notice this before. While the identities of the two occupants of the ambulance have not been released. This was May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
He was killed April 16th, and his name was plastered by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
As a wild man. But they, May 1st, didn't even want to release Alyssa and Raina's name.
Sure, yeah. Well, and, safety wise, it was such an emotionally charged case. I understand, me, for instance, I personally was well, because I got many messages, and the way I kind of operate is when someone's charged, public information, because I want to make sure I get things correct, because you never necessarily, someone third party like me, I never necessarily know what's going on.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how I look at with things like that. But at the same, now the sealed venue, and it sounds like the judge agrees, that's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
This should be a public, transparent trial. And it sounds like that's what you're going to get, at least. So we'll see how it unfolds. But if she was to give you all a public apology,
I tell you what,
I think it's too late for me.
really? Yeah, and that's understandable. I get it.
April 16th.
I will tell you this.
To July, the end of July, August.
I could say sorry, and my body language tells a whole nother thing.
The intention.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But I have to tell you this. I've done Alyssa's hair. I've done Stacy's hair. Her mom. He's cut her dad's hair for years. I've done her little sister's hair, braided it. I could tell you this. I stayed all night at Connie, her grandma's house. I was best friends with her aunt, Stephanie Schaefer. David Schaefer was her older brother. I have nothing to say bad about none of those people. Alyssa's actions, for me, does not make me feel. Now, if they wasn't standing for who they loved, I would think less of them than what I do for them loving. It's a parent's job to love their kids, good, bad, or ugly, to uphold bad behavior and to make them not be accountable even though your heart hurts. That I don't get down with.
Sure, yeah. You could love your kids while not condoning.
Sure.
Yeah. I get that.
So I especially Stephanie Schaefer, Shamblin, her and I were thicker than thieves for years.
You know, it's amazing you said that. I didn't even think about the possibility that all of you all knew each other. I didn't realize that.
Sure. This is, Elkview. You got Mink Shoals, Elkview, Clendenin, Quick, Sanderson, Dutch Ridge, and it's just like boom, 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 one town into the other. And we all went to Hoover. We all went to Elkview. We all went to Pinch or Elk Center, or, we all went, but we all ended up in the same high school and at the time I was in there, junior high.
Mm-hmm.
So Connie treated me like one of her kids. Of course, I expect nothing less than them to be standing with Alyssa during this time to uphold the crimes or try to make an excuse for what it was. No,
it should not be diminished.
No,
they can love her, but it should not be diminished.
Sure. I don't wish nobody any ill will. I don't wish nobody definitely to hell. I want everybody to receive Jesus Christ in their hearts and their lives. And I wish that for everybody.
Before it's too late, nobody is guaranteed the rest of today nor tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah.
But I am angry.
Oh, yeah.
Heartbroken.
And I am sorely upset about the way that this was handled at first. And I still will be.
I think this is going to change protocols.
It should.
Especially for the ambulance authority.
It should.
Yeah. I think it for sure will. Because
they need to hold them to a higher standard over things like this.
Sure. Well, and here's the thing too. Like, EMTs ain't paid squat. They do have a tough job. They have certain things but there's ways that this could have been prevented to even be a realm of possibility. Now, the protocol, from what I understand, is they should have locked the doors, called the police, got out of the situation. And they could have done that in 4 different ways. They could have backed up. They could have went real slow. They could have
not moved.
Yeah.
How could he not got in?
Technically, where they were, they could have made a sharp right and turned into another parking lot.
They could have not went to go see where he was to begin.
That's the main thing, is when you knowingly go back, it is a huge problem.
Yeah. I mean, that right there is the fly in the ointment for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And he didn't, it wasn't like what they said. He could have been like the tick bite you was mentioning. Like, it could have been something like where he was wanting to be medically treated. And he did not rush the hood like they said. He did run in front of the ambulance, but he stopped. And then he kind of just moved, and then here they go, taken off. So
You see, in that, that's why.
But that's the difference in his way of thinking and a normal person's way of thinking without a TBI.
Well, okay, you think about
You know,
it.
we would stay on the side of the road, but to him, it was a dire emergency situation because of his phobia in his head.
Fix this.
Yeah.
I need this looked at. It's an emergency, and it was. We've got records that we've went back and found hospital records of him actually going to the hospital, riding in an ambulance for a spider bite, for a tick bite. We've got what, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
He has had that phobia since probably the wreck. And I don't know why, because it's pretty amazing to me that he'll fumble around and sleep under a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, everything that
wild.
is said is, yeah, he was under a bridge. Yeah, he did. But he was afraid. He had phobias of spider bites, tick bite. Personally, it's a flip-flop phobia for me. I personally don't want to sleep under a bridge, but I'll squash a spider with my finger.
Sure,
I really don't care.
Everyone's different. Different. Shoo, bless you all. Let's end this. All right, favorite memory each. Let's talk. Who wants to go first? I want to know a good memory of John Lucas that we can end this on.
Oh my gosh!
Now
Do you think I should tell the one of the tree? You know, like, he knows who's in charge.
What?
The old lady screaming.
I don't remember. There's so many.
He was like, it was like where he was on Turner and his boa got out. It was in the tree and them old ladies were screaming and losing their minds.
Oh yeah, about the
boa.
Yeah.
Did he have a pet snake?
Yeah,
and an owl that he found, that
and
was
an
hurt.
Alligator.
And an alligator.
He's like Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a fancy ball python. I wore it to his graveside service. I wore it around my neck.
Oh, how nice.
But
I said, "Stay away from me, honey."
he had a what was a boa, I think, or python.
I do not know.
I don't know. Big snake.
I think, aren't those the same thing? I don't know.
I think a boa. Well, they're both constrictors.
Got it.
So
Big snake.
big snake.
Big snake.
He had a big snake. And I guess it had got out of his house and it had worked its way up into the tree in between his house and the neighbor lady's house. Well, the two little neighbor ladies come out and they notice this huge snake in the tree and they're losing it and freaking out. And John hears the ruckus. So he comes out and he sees it's his snake. So he's like, you can't be scared of it. And he grabs that snake down. He's holding it by its neck like this. He goes, "You got to show it who's boss." "Right, I'm boss." And then that snake goes and bites him right in the face because he's trying to be the boss of a big snake.
Oh, that's amazing.
But he was wild. He was not scared of nothing.
I'll tell you a story about his he had got, I'm pretty sure it was $30,000 for his back payment for his Social Security disability.
Got it.
He wanted it all in $1 bills.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, so he and anybody that hears this story that can verify this story, get a hold of Creepalachia, like text below this I
believe you, Laura.
Comment. Okay. he divided the money up in duffel bags and he would bury them up the road in certain spots in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
So he got in a car with one of his friends and he said he needed money to go, I think gamble or something. So he said, "I need to get my money." He said, "I need you to drive up this road and then it's like 20 paces to across this whatever." Anyways, he goes
Like a treasure map.
digs up a duffel bag full of money and they're like, "John," but it's just, he was an eccentric type person.
That's amazing.
I remember a story. Those plastic road dividers, those like little tiny thin plastic ones that are just like to keep maybe like the arrow lane from the stoplight. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess at one point, Uncle Adam had seen some plastic ones and he took his car and he hit a couple of them and knocked them. Well, John was with him and he thought it was real funny. So the next time they were out, John thought he'd do it. Well, he didn't realize that some of them were metal.
Oh, my goodness.
So he hits the metal divider with his car and gets mad at Adam.
Do you know the suit that he was buried in?
No.
Okay, the suit that he was buried in. Okay, there's a story about his burial clothes and things that was in there. He the suit that he was buried in, he would break in to Dad's house and steal this suit from Dad.
Oh, wow.
To wear it to court.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
this is his court suit.
This was
Okay.
his court or special occasion suit or wedding suit
Yeah, he
or
wore
a funeral suit. It was this particular suit. So when we was trying to figure out what to put on him, Dad said, oh, I'm going to go ahead and bury him in that suit. He loved it, so that's what he's going to. And then he had a ring that he said an angel gave him. Okay, so he put the ring on him, and I went and got him some shoes. And Dad said, "Yeah, now he's gonna go in, walking in, looking good." So that's where his suit comes in at.
Oh.
Yeah, that day
That's
I
sweet.
had, like I said, I've found like 7 4-leaf clovers since all that. I ended up finding what you won, me one, Kayla Joe one, and my brother one.
Yeah,
And we all ended up being able to lay a 4-leaf clover with him.
How beautiful. Goodness gracious.
First time I ever met John, she said, we have to go down to Coonskin Park. And it's going to be weird. Just
It's like giving you a heads up.
Yeah, this is going to be weird. I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to whistle. She can whistle really loud. And I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to whistle. I know that sounds weird, but just, kind of trust the process kind of thing. Well, my shop was right by a supermarket and they give us candy and stuff all the time. Like when it's getting ready to expire or something like that, they'll, So he gave me this whole box of whatchamacallits. And I said, well, I'm going to give these to John, And she said, oh, you'll be in there with him if you do something like that, So we go to the park and she gets out in the middle of the road and whistles.
then we
And she
drive
said, all right. She gets back in the car. She said, drive on up. I'm like, okay, so we're drive on up to the end of the park, turn around, come back. And here he comes out of the woods.
Yeah,
And he jumped in the car.
It's like Batman.
Man, it's a shame. He was a real cryptid. You would have been looking for him.
yeah,
You'd have been looking for him.
yeah.
He jumps in the car and he said, what day is it? And Laura told him, he said, I knew there was something I forgot. I had court today. Oh, well, just like it was no big thing,
Just munching on them.
Yeah. And I handed him those candy bars and he looked, you'd have thought I gave him a brand new car. And he just looked up at me. He was like, Chris, right? He said, you're my brother. I said, oh, thanks, man. He said, no, I really wish you was my real brother. Just as serious.
That's awesome.
And from then on out, every time I saw him, he'd say, love you. And he'd look at me and I didn't say it back at first because, it was like brand new, I just
weird.
met him. And,
Yeah.
And he made sure. He said, Chris, I said I love you. like you are to say it back, So I was like, all right, man, I love you too, buddy.
All right, yeah, calm down.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So he's just like, I'm gonna bask in the awkwardness, and you're gonna tell me
Yeah.
you love me, daggone it.
Look at me right in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real thing too. He was serious about it.
That is
Great.
And genuine.
Genuine. Yeah.
Genuine.
We
He
drive
really
down.
does.
If I drive down from the 35th Street Bridge down to Red Roof Inn in Canal City, and every block I would whistle real loud. My whistle that he and I had.
Can you do it? I don't care. It won't hurt them. Whoa, that's legit.
Yeah.
I can do it. Too.
But
That's legit.
that's not even how loud it could get. But
That's our indoor whistle.
that's our indoor.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I would drive down, turn around at Red Roof Inn, and at one of the stoplights he would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make sure he had money, not too much money, but money enough to get him some drink
Mm-hmm.
and food. So
Yeah.
that's how I keep track of him.
Well, bless y'all. I'm so sorry we're here, but I'm grateful to hear about John.
I'm glad you apologized. I respect that a lot. And I'm glad that you wanted to give us the opportunity to speak with you and to set some things straight. And I would like to tell the community that how much I appreciate their support and everything that they do. They keep us just so upheld, and that means a lot to us. But I want to come back to give you the ending to this story.
Lord, yeah. Well, you're welcome here anytime.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man.
Hey, what's the hair places? Y'all still cutting hair? What are we doing? We got to plug these places.
Yeah.
Yep, the chop shop.
Chop shop.
Yep.
Let's go. Elk River.
Mink Shoals. Get
Mink
off Mink
Shoals
Shoals.
About a mile up off the exit.
Mink Shoals.
Mhm.
If you know where Olin's Market's at, Chop Shop's right beside. Now, I'm a cosmetologist. My book's full, and right now I'm just in maintain
Survival
mode. Yeah. But the guys, they do walk-ins, barber stuff.
Let's go.
Speaking of plugging, there is a public Justice for John group on Facebook. It's a page. You must answer all questions to be accepted into the group. Several new posts and posts about rallies, upcoming rallies, and news and stuff like that. It's kept up to date pretty good. So
Heck yeah.
follow,
And
answer all the questions.
One more thing.
Sure.
I would like everybody to keep Shaylin Harvey in her situation in your prayers as well, because
Yeah.
that kid needs justice too.
Mhm.
She's going to get it.
She's
Yeah,
going to
she
get it,
will.
Yeah.
but pray for the ones that have to live with
Oh, yeah.
her being missing
Mhm.
forever. And I know it hurts, and we've been to, actually, me and Haley and my dad went to one of the vigils just to be supportive for them as well.
That's very kind of y'all.
But
It was
we
right.
went to leave after Dad led off in prayer, and we said, we're going to go ahead and leave to let this space be held for her, to not mix the two together. It's two different things, as horrendous in their own ways.
Mhm.
And them people was so kind. They was like, no, we have enough love for you guys to
Please
stay.
Please
Yeah.
stay.
So we stayed and met a lot of nice people that had really nice stories about her. So
How
May
kind.
God uphold them and
Yeah.
be with them and give them strength.
Yep. And those who aren't aware, we've done a couple stories on Shaylin, but Shaylin was unfortunately found, and it looked like she has been murdered, and we're awaiting potential indictment, hopefully in September. So we'll see how that goes. But
That's
yes,
like 15 minutes up the road from the bus garage.
Yeah.
So that's why it was mentioned, because it's literally our same community, our same neighborhood.
yeah, her stepdad like commented on posts, and
can
it
you
was
believe that?
so weird. It was so weird because he brought up, I remember he brought up John and was like, what is going on in Elkview? You
Wow.
know, now, of course, he hasn't been charged with her death. I don't want to say that, but he is in jail for another crime that is horrific. And
Justice
we'll see.
will prevail.
Yep, it will. It will.
It will.
God is in control.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, thank y'all. Anything else? We missing
Thank
out?
you.
Any
Thank
rumors
you.
we missed?
Any rumors?
I will say there has been a lot of disparaging things that have come our way that we have not engaged with, but it always seems like we're the offenders.
Mm.
So that's really all I can say on that. There's
On
nothing-
why he was in the situation he was, or what do you mean? by
just
offenders?
like just like everything. Just it's weird. We're called lynch mob. We're called for like dangerous
Can you believe
group.
that?
We're controversial.
Well,
we're
look at the
constantly told to
motion
be
you'll
quiet. Yeah, it's very bizarre. But the thing about it is they want to make it a point like we are harmful when in fact there is actual evidence and proof that we have received more harm than we've ever given. But, you know, it's always interesting that the ones receiving it are the ones receiving it.
Sure, yeah. And yeah, it's... And no one has ever called for any type of harm. You know, are there crazy people out on the internet? Of course, but you'll have that anywhere. You all have sought justice the entire time, and it's never going to be turned around in the fact of where the person who potentially created the crime becomes the victim.
Mm-mm.
That is not what happened here. And
Right.
you don't need to feel bad for asking for justice. And sometimes they try to turn that
They
around.
really
on you.
do.
And it's
Yeah.
a shame because it shouldn't be begged for.
Sure, yeah. And you don't want anyone, we don't want anyone harmed, obviously.
Right.
But we want the system to work.
Yeah, work.
Well, and they say
Yeah.
things like, you know, all this rallying and stuff is why she's getting the change of venue. You all did this to yourself. Like it's a terrible thing for us to rally.
Yeah.
And,
That's part of the First Amendment. I mean,
That's
Read.
that's what, like, I believe that got the charges. But like I said, like, we can all sit down at the table, like, yeah, let's change the venue. Where you want to go?
Yeah,
Wood
right.
County?
Yeah.
Like,
You want to
where
go to the
where
moon?
you-
You
where
want
we
to go
go?
to Mars?
Yeah.
Which Martian you want to line up to see?
I mean, there's a lot of great prosecutors in the state. We can do that.
I have a question. Does
Sure.
the prosecutor, does it follow the trial if it's moved?
So I do not believe so, but I don't know that for sure. I do not know that for sure. Don't quote me on that, but I am assuming if they were to move the trial, it would fall in the hands of that county's prosecutor.
Now, the judge follows,
no,
right? No.
no,
Wow.
everything would change.
Good.
Everything would, well,
Now,
Because I say
The
it
guy-
doesn't
he
matter.
seems-
I think I'm just concerned about. It seems like a conflict of interest. Kanawha County
Yeah,
is
yeah.
investigating Kanawha County.
I thought that the judge followed.
I mean, so
sounds
far
to
I don't
me
have
like-
anything outrageously to complain about. But I mean, as far as them calling for it, I say bring it on.
well, here's the thing. You're frustrated and you're looking at like, from being a third party looking at it, I think the judge is doing the proper thing. Even waiting on the Supreme Court, there is a decision awaiting that
Yes.
could overturn
yes.
what he would decide.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense to wait. So I think
Yes.
overall, I mean, if it stayed in Kanawha County, can you get a fair trial? Of course,
Absolutely.
I believe you can.
I do too.
But if they want to move it to the Eastern Panhandle, that would be a long
Can I-
drive for everybody.
Can I ask you a
But-
question? This is what's frustrating to me. Why can't we ask it to be moved as well?
So it's really up to the prosecutor at this point. Like they
See-
make all the calls. I don't know. I mean, and some prosecutors will take your opinion and hold heavy weight to it. But I would say right now, like Deborah Rusnick wants this case. She wants to close this case and show that when she's called out in the public, she can pursue justice and succeed with it. And I think that
I
she
really
could.
hope that is what she wants.
I think so.
I really do. I really hope.
I think there's
You
a
can't
lot
let
of
this one
eyes
go at
on
this
this.
point.
Yeah.
That if anything goes any kind of crooked way or any way that it shouldn't go, there is going to be another public outcry. There's too many people watching this at this point.
Sure, yeah.
The more eyes, the better, I say.
Yeah, because now you're upheld and obligated to do your job.
And
So-
that judge, he's not served his full. What is it? How many years?
Term.
What,
everybody.
6 years, ain't it?
I think it's 8 years, isn't it?
I don't know. I
Two
think
8-year
circuit's
terms?
6 years, but I ain't for sure.
I'm not really.
He's wanting to get reelected too, just so he can get his.
Oh, And it
Everybody,
sounds bad, but
Whatever
this
it
is a political case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really bad, but everyone involved wants to see it through to its fullest extent. Now, the judge just wants to ensure that the system is followed. The prosecutor wants
once
to
reelected.
win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone. It really, and you hate
And-
to look at it like that, but that's.
I mean, it's
And it's an
the
election
real.
year.
It's
Sure, yeah.
it's the real facts of the matter. My thing is, I don't care where they move it.
Mhm.
I really do not care where they move it. They can move it to wherever. I do not think it should be a closed venue.
Absolutely. It's unconstitutional.
That's
They can't do it.
ridiculous.
I don't think it ever will.
OJ's wasn't a
He
close
said he
venue.
won't. He said he won't.
Yeah, he said he won't.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless
Um,
there's a minor involved, it never would make any sense.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
never would. But I mean, I'm glad that Judge Hardy called it like it was. He was
Yeah.
like, come,
Yeah.
like he addressed it like
Yeah.
really.
He seems like he's
silly.
making good logical
Here's-
decisions at this point.
Here's
I mean,
the thing about judges.
I've had issues prior, but we won't go back into that.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, everyone has disagreements, but what I will say, judges in general, and there's been judges I disagree with, but in general, judges follow the Constitution and ensure that fair proceedings happen. And it's a job that I really respect. And like I have an appeal against a judge in the Supreme Court right now. Like we have disagreements, but I think in general, overall, judges really believe in the process and making sure that it's followed. So wherever it goes in West Virginia, I firmly believe that you're going to get a fair trial.
I
It's
think
just
it
according
needs.
to where it goes.
I think it needs out of county and put in federal.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that I don't think that there's a federal charge that could occur. Like for what?
For violation of a civil right.
So, I mean, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I
really don't know.
against. I'm just wondering because it seems like it'd be different if it was Alyssa in her car and Raina, but it was a Kanawha County property. You know what I'm saying? It's so entangled with
Sure. Yeah.
Kanawha County that it seems to me like a conflict of interest for me.
No, I get it. And that's where the change of venue could come in place with the county because
Right.
the state code has completely different code than the federal. Federal typically gets involved in like fraud. They do a lot of abuse cases when it comes to protecting kids, embezzlements, different things like that. So,
What about a disabled man?
so I don't know. I don't
I'm
know
curious
enough
about it. I
yeah.
mean, I really am curious. Just out of my own curiosity, I might research that to see because he was an unknown disabled person.
Right.
The whole community knew his apartment was down in Mink Shoals. He walked to Elkview because that's where the people he knew the most was. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah. And I did so I wanted to clarify, and it seems like only in certain instances do killings fall within the federal government, like a military base
Right.
or like a public building or different things like that. So I don't know, but I know like this specific charge is only a state code thing.
Right.
Because every state has their own charges for murder. and
Sure.
different things like that. So, but anyway, I think, yeah, like it's good to know and good that you all put your thoughts out there. Like, yeah, we don't care if it's change of venue. Let's just
Yeah.
fast forward. Let's get going.
Yeah, because quite frankly, the sooner that justice is served and she's put where she belongs for the acts that she committed by her own hands, the sooner that this scab, can stop being ripped back open over and over and over and over and over again, and we can actually start grieving.
And the precedent for what that decision decides in future
Right. Happenings.
happenings.
Mhm.
Hopefully never.
Hopefully never.
But if so, then guess what? There's a thing that happened in 2026 that we can refer back to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Believe me.
you get killed by a vehicle in this state, good luck.
Mhm.
Shame on them. See, I hate when
That
they
sounds
powder
like
it
to
down.
me, it's a choice of weapon.
I hate when they powder it down to a hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hit and drag for 2 miles. There was no running.
Yeah. And I think they charged accordingly to that. Because like I was thinking it was gonna be there's a vehicular manslaughter that has like up to a year.
Right.
I honestly thought that's what was gonna happen. And they went above that. And I
Right.
think that was called for due to the length that they drove.
Right.
So yeah, shout out to Kanawha County for doing that.
Not to
because I think
mention
that's
what
the right-
we don't know that the jury did
right.
that indicted her in
The
the
grand
first
jury.
place.
Because
Yeah.
of 400 other pieces of evidence.
Right. So
We will see.
here, there, anywhere, the truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
Truth is truth.
Good way to end it.
Yep.
Well, y'all are welcome anytime.
Thank you for
Um,
having us.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah,
buddy.
thanks, dude.
Y'all, I put the Facebook page in the description. And everyone out there, before you leave, go ahead and like this video. Subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube if you haven't. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, take a minute and leave a review. That'll really help the show be found. We're telling creepy stories exclusively on Patreon now and releasing early episodes like we did with this one. So if you want to support the show, go over there. But if not, I'm glad you're here. And everyone else, always remember, above all else, rest in peace, John Lucas.
Yes, big
Justice
baby brother.
for John Luke.
Justice for John Lucas. And long live Appalachia.